We continue with our Know What You Believe series, Series 4. And yesterday we began and just touched briefly on the topic of prayer. And today we go a little bit deeper into that same topic on prayer and have some great scripture passages with it. And so today's topic is the value and power of prayer. Some have said that the value of prayer is strictly psychological and exists only in the mind of him that prays, making him feel that God will help him. Now, it is true that prayer has this reassuring effect on our troubled hearts, but the reason for this is that God has promised to hear our prayers. God says in Psalm 145, verse 19, God will fulfill the desire of them that fear him. He also will hear their cry and will save them. It is for this reason that the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. James 5, verse 16. Prayer does not work like an opiate, having no other effect than to quiet the troubled heart of him who prays. God actually answers prayer. In prayer we call upon him, the living God, who is able and willing to help us. Prayer does not justify us before God, for it is a part of the Christian sanctified life. Prayer is a work in which we engage, and no work in which we are engaged can justify us before God. It is an outgrowth, the result of being a Christian. Prayer is the free and joyful expression of the Christian's childlike relation to God. Through prayer, we do not merit or earn anything from God. Prayer is not a means of grace. Prayer is the blessed privilege of Christians to commune with God. We deprive ourselves of God's blessings by being neglectful of this privilege. James 4:2 says, Ye have not because ye ask not. If we meet the conditions of prayer which God has set, we shall receive God's answer to our prayers. I really like this insight on many levels, but the main level is this, is that it's not just, prayer is not something for just the weak need, if you will, or for those who can't get through life on their own strength, although no one really can. I guess what I'm trying to say is that prayer is not something for the weak. Prayer is a gift of the Lord to the faithful, to the hurting, to the weak, to the strong, to all Christians baptized everywhere. Prayer is God's gift. It's his invitation for you to talk to him, and as Luther says and the scriptures say, to ask him as one would ask their dear and loving Father for something. So we know that God answers prayer. There's countless examples of that in the scriptures. God hears our prayer, and God strengthens us, and God will always do what he believes is what we need the most, no matter what that may or may not look like. Sometimes that doesn't look good at the time, but in retrospect you realize it was really good and it was a blessing. And so sometimes we don't really know what God's up to and what he's doing, but we do know, one, that he hears us, two, that he answers all the time. Maybe not the way you'd want, but the way he needs to answer for you at this time, at this moment in your life. So take advantage. Seek him, pray to him, wait for his response.